Okay, buckle up, because today we eat our own words. Or we don't. That's the whole show.
That's a bit more.
This is the Rush Lindell Show. I'm Rush Lindell. That's Reagan. And today we're grading our own prediction like a couple of professors who forgot to study.
You mean the rate-cut-saves-the-midterms thesis?
The one we built the whole $4 argument around. Yeah. Back in the spring, we said the Fed blinks, gas drops, Republicans coast into November.
And then summer happened.
Summer happened. Oil ripped. The new Fed chair got seated, and suddenly people are whispering the word hike, not cut, hike.
I'm not letting you off that easy, say the whole sentence.
Fine. We might have called this thing backwards. There, I said it. Happy?
Thrilled. Stick around, because we're walking the whole chronology tonight, start to finish.
We are, but first, quick word from the folks who keep the lights on around here. Today's show is brought to you by Lear Capital, America's precious metals leader since 1997.
If the Fed's about to make you nervous, might as well hedge with something shiny.
Subtle, Reagan.
I never claimed subtle. Let's get into it.
Back in July, we said it loud. On this show, inflation cracks, the Fed caves. Gas prices come down just in time to save the midterms. Big theory. Bold theory.
And it wasn't nothing, Rush. June's inflation numbers posted their biggest one-month drop since 2020. That's a real number. That's a real signal.
Biggest drop in 6 years. 6 years. You don't see that at Shrug.
Nobody's saying shrug. But before we take a victory lap, I want to be honest about what this segment actually is.
Go on.
It's not a highlight reel. We built a thesis in public on air, and now we owe the listener an honest look at whether it held up, not just the parts that make us look sharp.
Fine. Fair. That's fair.
For instance, that CPI drop happened before oil started climbing again. So it's not the whole picture even by itself.
Right. One good month doesn't erase whatever comes after it.
Because a lot happened between that July inflation print and today, and not all of it points the direction we said it would.
I know where you're going with that.
I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm just setting the table.
Set it. But before we relitigate every headline from the last 6 weeks, there's one piece of this puzzle we skipped right past in July, and it matters more than any single data point.
Which is?
Who's actually sitting in the chair making the call.
Okay.
Because everybody in July was arguing about oil and jobless claims and CPI like the Fed's some machine that just processes numbers. It's not. There's a guy with a name and a track record and opinions.
Kevin Warsh.
Kevin Warsh. And here's the part people forget.
He wasn't installed after any of this broke?
No, that's exactly it. This man got confirmed back in May Reagan, before the June inflation drop, before the oil spike, before Hormuz, before any of the noise we've been arguing about all summer.
So whatever he does in September, he walked into the job blind to all of it.
Blind to all of it. He didn't get picked because oil hit $100. He didn't get picked because gas prices were an election issue. He got picked in a totally different news cycle.
Which means if we want to guess what he does next, guessing from July onward isn't enough.
Not even close. You've got to go back to May and ask, who is this guy and what does he actually believe about rates?
Then let's go back to May.
Let's go back to May. $54-45. Write that number down.
That's the confirmation vote for Warsh?
That's the vote, 54-45, and CNBC called it the most divisive confirmation a Fed chair nominee has ever gotten.
Ever?
Ever. Not close, not contested, but fine, the most.
So half the Senate basically held their nose.
Pretty much. You had Trump pushing hard for this guy, specifically, because he wanted somebody who would lean toward cutting.
Right, and the vote total tells you that wasn't a slam dunk, even inside his own coalition.
45 no votes on a Fed chair. That's a brawl, not a confirmation hearing.
And it's worth noting that split wasn't just Democrats holding the line. There were plenty of question marks inside the Republican caucus, too.
A 45 vote no column doesn't happen by accident.
But here's the part I actually want listeners locked onto. The date, May 13th.
May 13th.
That's before the CPI number we already talked about, before any of the oil headlines, before any of it.
Chronology matters, Reagan.
It does, because if you get the order wrong, You start telling yourself a story where Warsh got picked because of the summer data.
When actually the summer data happened to a guy who was already sitting in the chair.
Exactly. He didn't earn the seat by calling the CPI drop right. He was already confirmed, already in place, watching it unfold like the rest of us.
Which honestly makes this more interesting, not less. This isn't a guy who got installed to execute a plan.
No, he's the guy who has to react to whatever gets thrown at him. And inflation data complicating the case for cuts was already in the mix, even at the confirmation itself, according to that CNBC piece.
So he walks in already boxed. Trump wants cuts, the data's already messy, and 45 senators are on record saying they don't trust the pick.
That's the chair. Contested vote, contested inflation picture, contested politics, all before Memorial Day.
And then summer happens.
Oh, summer happens.
Because there's a headline that drops a couple months later that makes you go, wait, we call this whole thing backwards?
The one that flips the script.
The one that flips the script. Let's get to it. Oil ripped. You ready for this? July 23rd, the headline drops, and it is not the headline we wanted.
Rate hike odds, not a cut.
A hike, Reagan. We built an entire episode on a rate cut saving the midterms, and CNBC is telling me investors are bracing for the opposite.
Alex Herring wrote it up for CNBC. Investors were increasingly readying for the Fed to hike in September.
Increasingly readying, that is polite financial media language for everybody panic.
It's oil driving it. Prices ripped higher, and that's what pushed the odds around.
Oil ripping into an election year, you couldn't script it worse for us.
You could, actually. Wait for the jobs report.
Don't you dare tease me right now. I am still processing the gut punch.
Fine, sit in it.
Because this is the exact moment our thesis looked dead. Cut rates, save the midterms, cheap gas by fall, that whole argument gone, buried. Oil goes up, the Fed has to consider tightening instead of easing, and suddenly our big prediction reads like a bad parlay.
A hike doesn't cool the economy for free. It slows things down, sure, but it also means higher borrowing costs going into November. That's not the relief valve you were promising listeners.
And it's not like listeners can just shrug off higher borrowing costs. That's real money on a car payment or a credit card balance.
Which is exactly why markets don't take repricing lightly, even before the Fed says a word.
I know. That's the part that stings. We told people the cavalry was coming, and CNBC's telling me the cavalry might turn around and ride the other way.
Rush.
What?
Say it. You were wrong.
I'm not saying I was wrong. I'm saying the data got aggressive.
The data got aggressive.
Oil doesn't care about our narrative arc, Reagan.
No, it doesn't. But it's worth being honest about what that July headline actually did. It didn't confirm a hike. It moved the odds. Markets repricing isn't the Fed announcing.
Sure, but markets moving that fast on rate expectations right after we picked a lane, that's a gut check.
It is. And I'll admit, reading that piece, my first thought was, there goes the whole premise.
Wait, you're conceding something?
I'm conceding the headline was bad for us. I'm not conceding the story ended there.
Meaning what?
Meaning July 23rd is a snapshot, not a verdict. Oil spiked, odds moved, everyone panicked. But the calendar didn't stop.
Go on.
There's more that landed after that headline, and it doesn't sit comfortably with hike is happening. It actually muddies things considerably.
Muddies how? You're doing the thing where you tease me now.
Because it deserves its own breath. It's not as clean as either of us wants it to be.
Now I need to know.
You will, right after this.
Rush, before you go declaring us wrong on air, you need to hear what dropped on August 7th.
I'm listening. Reluctantly.
CNBC reported that hold odds jumped to 60%. A week before that, they were sitting at 1 in 3.
Wait, 1 in 3 to 60 in a week? That's not a shift, that's a stampede in the other direction.
It happened because the July jobs report came in weak.
So the labor market cracks and suddenly the hawks lose their nerve.
Not all of them. Some FOMC members actually dissented in July. They wanted the hike because the energy-driven inflation pressure hadn't gone anywhere.
Hold on, so you've got a room full of people looking at the exact same numbers and walking away with opposite conclusions?
That's where the committee is right now. not unanimous on much of anything.
Comforting.
It's a room full of people with a Bloomberg terminal and completely different priors.
Priors, look at you throwing around stats words on morning radio.
There's more. By late August, oil had actually cooled, down to around $94 a barrel.
94 off that spike from July.
Right. But the shortfall moving through the strait didn't close. Estimates still put it around 8 million barrels a day.
So the sticker price came down, but the pipe's still half clogged.
Exactly. Which means the relief at the pump could be temporary, not a fix.
So this isn't some clean fix, it's a patch job at best.
Right, and patch jobs don't hold up if something else breaks in the meantime.
Okay, so what does a hold even buy the average person? Say I'm shopping for a mortgage right now.
A hold means the rate you're staring at today probably doesn't move much before the fall. A hike means it climbs again, and that new construction loan gets more expensive fast.
So the guy trying to lock a rate in October has a real stake in this fight, whether he knows it or not.
He does. Everybody with a variable rate anything does.
Give me a real number then. What's the difference between a hold and a hike on an average 30-year loan right now?
We don't have exact numbers to put on air tonight, but directionally, even a quarter point on a hike moves a monthly payment enough that families notice it, and a hold keeps that number frozen where it is.
Fine, so where does that leave us? A minute ago, I was ready to eat crow on live radio.
It leaves us honest. The most recent hard data, the jobs number, actually favors a hold, not a hike.
So we're not vindicated,
No.
but we're not wrong either.
Also, no. Both sides have a real case sitting on the table right now.
I hate a story with no verdict. Doesn't sell radio.
You'll manage.
Fine. If the jobs number, the descent, and the oil number are all pulling in different directions, then there's one piece of this whole mess nobody's pricing correctly.
Go on.
And whatever's actually happening in the Strait of Hormuz that nobody on that committee wants to say out loud.
Now that's a real rabbit hole.
Buckle up, Reagan. Gold just did something wild, Reagan. 15-week intraday high. $4,738 hit on August 24th.
And here's the part people skip. That spike isn't purely inflation fear. It's tied partly to a Treasury decision to expand buybacks on long-dated debt.
Wait, so it's not the fear trade?
Not entirely. It's a debt market mechanic bleeding into the gold price. Two different stories getting mashed into one headline.
Of course it is. Nothing in this economy gets to mean just one thing anymore.
Meanwhile, Hormuz is still the wild card underneath all of it.
There's a claim floating around social media from a Reddit thread and picked up in an X post that Iran has declared the strait stays closed until the end of Trump's term.
Which is not a confirmed government statement. That's community chatter, not a State Department readout.
Sure, but chatter moves oil traders same as headlines do.
Fair. Though CNBC reported the U.S. military's helped move over 660 million barrels through Hormuz since May, even with that 8 million barrel a day shortfall everyone's been quoting.
So the strait's half open no matter what Iran's posting online.
It's a good reminder that a lot of what circulates about the strait right now comes from posts, not press briefings.
Sure, but traders don't wait for press briefings. They trade the vibe.
And the same online chatter is split. Some of it says Iran's actually getting squeezed, oil exports cratering, and the strait might reopen. It's contested. I wouldn't call either version settled.
Nobody's pricing that mess correctly. Which, speaking of things nobody's pricing correctly, silver. My friends at Lear Capital are doing something I've genuinely never seen. They're selling a 1-ounce silver American Eagle below spot price. That's right below what silver's actually trading for right now, and they're covering the shipping and taxes.
Priced below spot, they're eating a loss to get it in your hands. Limit 1 per person, new customers only.
Free shipping, fully insured by Lear, 24 hours. That's it.
And remember, spot price doesn't even include minting the coin, shipping it, or dealer overhead. Buying at spot is already a deal. Below spot almost never happens.
This isn't some obscure bullion piece either. The silver American Eagle is one of the most recognized coins on the planet, backed by the U.S. government for weight and purity. 1 ounce of .99 fine silver, IRA eligible, something you can actually hold.
Go to www.rushcoinoffer.com right now. 24 hours only, the URL goes dark. And when it's gone, it's gone.
www.rushcoinoffer.com. Go!
All right, gold and Hormuz are the headline stuff, but there's a whole other bill hitting people's kitchen tables that never makes the Quran.
Beyond the gas pump, you mean?
Way beyond it.
Switching gears to the kitchen table costs beyond gas prices that don't get nearly enough airtime.
Start with health insurance, because this one's ugly. KFF looked at 77 insurers filing preliminary rates for next year.
And
Median proposed increase for 2027 ACA marketplace premiums is 14%.
14 on top of what exactly?
On top of an average 58% net premium jump this year after the enhanced subsidies expired.
58, then 14 on top of 58.
Stacked. And it's not hitting everybody the same. KFF's own analysis says unsubsidized, middle-income enrollees are eating the worst of it.
So the family that makes just enough to lose the subsidy gets the full sticker price.
Exactly the group, with no cushion and no help.
That's the family doing everything right, working, insured, playing by the rules, and getting hit hardest anyway.
Which is exactly why premium increases deserve as much airtime as gas prices, even if they're less visible day to day.
Nobody's talking about this. Everybody's staring at the pump. Meanwhile, some guy's health plan just went up by nearly a third in 2 years.
Right, and that's the frustrating part. We keep measuring the economy in gallons of gas because it's the number you see every day. Premiums land once a year, quietly, in a renewal notice nobody reads until the bill's due.
Silent tax.
I'd call it a slower one, not a silent one. People do notice. They just notice too late to do anything about it.
Fine, a delayed tax. What else is sitting in that blind spot?
Grocery inflation, housing affordability, tariffs working through the supply chain. All three deserve their own hour with real numbers, not us guessing tonight.
You're saying don't wing it.
I'm saying those categories need their own filings, their own data, before we put a claim on air. Tonight we don't have it.
Noted. Consider that the next assignment.
Consider it homework for both of us, not just me.
Fair, but none of that, not the premiums, not gold, not the oil math, actually resolves anything.
No, it doesn't.
There's exactly one date on the calendar that does.
September 16th.
The Fed meets, they vote. And every argument we've made tonight either holds up or it doesn't. Okay, mark it right now.
I've got a pen.
September 15th and 16th, 2 days, Washington, the whole committee in a room deciding whether we were right or whether we owe America an apology.
The Fed's own meeting schedule lists it plain. September 15th to 16th. Decision announced Wednesday the 16th, 2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Not 2-ho, not 1:59. 2.
And they drop the dot plot with it. The summary of economic projections, where every governor anonymously tells you what they think rates look like a year out.
Which is basically 12 strangers passing notes in class, except the notes move markets.
Fair.
12 people passing notes that move trillion-dollar markets, no pressure whatsoever, and half of America's mortgage plans hinge on what they scribble down.
And at all.
So here's what I want, Reagan. September 16th, 2 p.m., we go live, and whatever they say, hike, hold, cut, we read it on air with zero spin.
Zero spin from you. That'll be a first.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying, history suggests otherwise.
I resent that. I accept it, but I resent it. But no, seriously, we've spent this whole hour grading ourselves off headlines, off odds, off oil prices, moving around like pinballs. None of that is the actual vote.
Right, everything before the 16th is forecasting. The 16th is the record.
That's the difference between a prediction and a decision. One of them's just noise until the gavel comes down.
And the dot plot tells you where they think they're headed after that, which matters more for the midterms than the September move itself, honestly.
Because if they hike in September, but the dots point toward cuts by spring.
Then the whole midterm calculus resets again.
Exactly. So don't get married in any headline before then. Not the oil spike, not the jobs number, not gold, none of it.
The report card's not out yet.
Comes out September 16th, 2 p.m. Eastern. And until then, everybody, including us, is just guessing with good posture.
Good posture guessing. I like that.
Patent pending. All right, quick break. We'll wrap this thing up.
So where does that leave us? Genuinely split. Hold odds are real, hike chatter is real, and Warsh hasn't tipped his hand either way.
Not a hint. Guy's a vault.
Which, frankly, is probably smart on his part given how loud we've been about it.
Smart. Or just really good at poker.
September 16th is the day the guessing stops. Circle it because everything we've argued tonight gets checked against an actual vote, not a headline.
Circle it in red. Highlight it. Tattoo it on your forearm if you're into that.
Maybe just the calendar app.
Fine calendar app, but mark it because on the 16th, somebody's turning in an assignment they can't fudge.
Meaning?
Meaning I've been threatening to grade this prediction all night, and on the 16th, the Fed grades ours right back. No curve, no extra credit, no see me after class.
That's fair. We'll take the same test we handed them.
Deal. All right, that's the show. Hit subscribe, leave us 5 stars, and tell somebody who still thinks $4 gas is the whole story.
There's more to it than that.
There's always more to it. See you Thursday.